The yarn bowls we have made have a celadon glaze on them, and this glaze will continue to craze, and every now and again you'll hear a pinging noise, and that's when the new crazing has started. So if you look on the yarn bowl, you can see crazes that haven't had ink put in them. They're the new crazing. So what I'm going to do is show you how to ink those crazes up. And what you need for this is some acrylic based water-based ink, an old jam jar to mix your ink up in, a clean dry cloth, and a couple of sponges. And I use a smaller sponge to actually apply the ink onto the pot. So what I normally do is put a couple of droppers worth of ink in a jam jar. It's handy to use a jam jar because you can put the lid on and keep it till next time you need it. And then add literally a drop of water to it just to thin it out a little bit. And then what I do is I pour that into the jam jar lid. Then using a small sponge, I've just cut a larger sponge in half, it makes it a bit easily. Dip it in the ink, don't overload it, just dip it in. And then apply to where you can see the new craze has formed. I wouldn't try and do it all in one go. And then using a damp sponge, I've got a bowl of water here as well, just remove that ink, and it has inked up the new craze. So wipe that back and then get a second sponge, wet that, and just make sure you've got all the ink off. If it runs down into the holes, just sponge that out. Check both sides because you don't want it dripping everywhere. And then using a dry cloth, dry it off, and there you've touched your yarn bowl up. I'll show you a unlidded yarn bowl that hasn't been inked up at all, and you can see what really happens from this. Just move that one out of the way. So this yarn bowl hasn't had any inking up done at all. So again, apply your ink, and I just do it a little bit of a section at a time, just so that you don't end up flooding all the pot. Get some clean water again. I usually do it over the sink so that I can get clean water all the time, and then just wipe that back off, and there you have the crazing starting to show like magic.